Yay! I think I'm live. I figured this out. Okay, guys. No one is on right now, but that's cool. I am just going to pin some stuff so everybody can talk about, see what I am talking about right now. Hey, everybody. It's so nice to chat with everyone. I'm so excited for this conversation. I hope y'all are as excited as I am because we're going to be talking about some real things. I know a lot of people are trying to catch flights, not feelings right now, and I just want to make sure y'all do that safely. So let me just get situated here. I'm just going to pin this. Hey, Jazz, it's so good to see you, boo. I'm just getting my little setup together. Oh, thanks. She loves me. This is great. What's up, what's up, what's up? My name is Courtney Simone, and I am the CEO and founder of Adventure in Black. And today, we're going to be talking about some things that people want to hear, some things that people are curious about, and that's going to be traveling during the pandemic, okay? Now, I already know some of y'all have already been out and about. Hopefully, y'all got y'all COVID vaccines. I promise you we're going to talk about all that today. But I'm going to give it a little bit for people to get situated and get into the live. If you have questions, please use the question button. It's a little circle to the right at the bottom. Make sure you do that so that I can answer all of your questions. Okay, that sound good? Look, I'm just about to get started. Let's not waste any time. If people jump on, they jump on, and we'll make it happen. Like I said, my name is Courtney Simone, and I am the CEO and founder of Adventure in Black. We are a full-service travel and entertainment brand dedicated to uplifting travelers of color. So my goal is to make sure that all the Black people is out here seeing the world, having new experiences, seeing different things, speaking different languages, and making sure that we can just live our best lives. So the first tip that I want to go over for you all is really just talking about vaccination protocols, COVID-19 testing protocols. It's really the elephant in the room, and I want to make sure that we address that right away. Hi, everybody. Looks like people are joining. So one of the main things, so since 2021, I've actually had the opportunity to go to 2 international destinations. I was actually in Mexico for about a month and some change. I thought I was going to live there for a minute, but I came back. Jamaica recently, Miami, and then Chicago, which is where I am from. So I am born and raised in Chicago. So if anybody is from Chicago, shout out to y'all. We're the best. I know, it's a thing. But one of the main things that I really learned during that time is to understand the testing protocols. So you cannot just hop on a flight right now, y'all. I know some people will say you can. You cannot do that. Domestic travel is a little bit different, but for those that are like me and you miss your islands, you miss your waves, you miss your sand, you miss your beach, there are certain things that you need to check. Now, what I definitely recommend is going to CNN. If you just type in places that are open or don't require a quarantine, CNN actually updates this list, I believe, like every couple of days or so. So they're always adding new locations that you can check out. However, they will also let you know what the testing protocol is. So for instance, when I went to Jamaica, we had to have an authorization form that was filled out. We had to make sure that authorization form got approved. If it's not approved, you're not going to be on nobody's plane. I'm going to tell you that right now. The second thing is also most places will require a negative COVID test. Now, if you live in the DC area, it's very easy for you to get a COVID test. For everyone else, I don't know y'all situation, but a lot of the CVS will do them for free or a small fee. Just check to make sure when you have to have that type of thing done and do it as soon as possible. Now, one of the newer requirements for the United States of America, which was actually implemented while I was in Mexico, I was a little nervous, y'all. I was like, damn, I might not be able to get back into this country the way I've been acting out here. But don't follow my example. I'm going to let y'all know some tips, okay? What you need to do is have a negative COVID test in order to get back into the United States. This is extremely important. And this is why I say you want to really understand what your hotel is doing, what the country that you're visiting is doing, because God forbid you catch COVID, you're not going to be able to get back into the U.S. I'm going to tell you that right now. However, on the flip side, a lot of hotels and a lot of resorts do have certain protocols in place where they might allow you to stay there for free until, everything clears. They might have things that you have to do for an additional fee, but these are all things that you just want to check and do, okay? So that is one of my biggest tips as far as the testing protocol, okay? Now, I want to talk a tiny bit about vaccines. I'm 1 out of 1 or 1 out of 2. I got one more shot and I get that next week. So I am definitely an advocate of the vaccine. I would say use your best judgment. If that's something that you decide to do or not to do, that is definitely your sole decision. But again, just make sure that you do your research, okay? I cannot stress this enough. I have a strong inclination that in order to travel, similar to like if you go to Africa or any other place, you might need a yellow fever card, for instance. I have a strong inclination they're going to do the same thing with these COVID-19 vaccines. We already got little cards for them now. You're probably going to need one in the near future. So just keep that in mind, okay? So don't forget, you can definitely ask me questions. They don't necessarily have to be super related to the tip at hand, but drop your questions here if you have them. All things travel, all things catching flights, not feelings. I'm here for y'all, okay? So the next tip that I have for you all is just in regards, and I'm looking at some notes here if y'all see me looking down, is really the concept of travel insurance, okay? Travel insurance has never been a bigger thing to really think about up until now. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Get your travel insurance. People spend $1,000+ to go to Atlanta and then get mad when their flight get changed or canceled. This is where travel insurance comes into play. If you're going to spend the money, make sure that you can recoup your investment. It makes no sense in order to not spend the extra $50 to maybe $80 to ensure that if you get sick or something happens or your flight is canceled, that you're able to recoup all of those funds. Just spend the extra money, because if something does happen, you will be better off in the long run, essentially. Now, with that also being said, I'm also recommending that most people use a major credit card to book all of their travel arrangements, okay? And the reason for that is most credit cards are backed by FDIC. So if you have any issues, I have Chase. Shout out to Chase Sapphire. They are the best. If I have any issues, Chase gonna refund me my money within 24 hours, okay? And people are spending way too much money, and I have definitely seen incidents where a lot of these airlines, and we'll talk about that, are playing with folks' money. So if you have a major credit card, now if you ain't got the funds, don't say Courtney said put it on my credit card. I ain't say put your rent money to pay for no trip. Don't put that on me, y'all, okay? What I did say is, when you have the opportunity to use a major credit card, please do so, because that's another way that you can just make sure that your investment is safe and secure, especially when you're sending all this money. So, just want to say hello to the people again who are just joining or did not hear my intro the first time. My name is Courtney Simone. I am the CEO and founder of Adventure in Black, a full-service travel and entertainment brand dedicated to uplifting travelers of color. In this conversation, again, we're talking about catching flights, not feelings. We're going to talk about why it's important to stay safe during COVID and make sure that you have everything that you need to succeed in order to do that. Ask questions. I don't see no questions. I feel like everybody just know, like, I know everything what to do, Courtney. That's cool. You can also slide in my DMs later for travel-related things. Don't hop in them DMs for no other reason. Okay, but definitely hit that question mark at the bottom if you do have questions. Now, one of the other things that I've heard a lot of kind of back and forth, do you know any travel info for Puerto Rico? Jay, could you clarify that question? Travel info as far as what? As far as like requirements, COVID protocol, stuff like that. If you can clarify that question, I will get you some information for you. But while we're waiting on that, definitely want to talk about the importance of travel agents and then group travel during this time. I know a lot of people have had some back and forth around, I don't know if I want to use an agent. Agents are outdated, all this other stuff. I'm going to tell you this right now. 9 times out of 10, that flight or that hotel that you are booking on Expedia, your agent is likely going to get for a better rate and then be able to back up your trip if something happens. If something happens and your trip gets canceled or something, the hotel messes up, you're going to have to go directly through the hotel. Expedia going to act like they don't know who you are. However, when you have an actual live person that can help with your purchase, can help to make sure that everything is A-okay, they're really going to walk you through that step. I would say it also takes a lot of additional stress just out of planning right now. A lot of people, to your point, don't know a lot of the requirements that are happening. And I feel like an agent is probably the best person to go through. And 9 times out of 10, they're not doing it out of an additional cost. You're getting lower rates. You're getting more personal kind of connection as far as the things that you're looking for. They're able to tailor itineraries based off of your goals, your needs, your wants, and all of those great things. So I would say now is the time, if you don't have an agent in mind, find one, okay? I have a list of agents that I worked with and have worked with in the past. If you are looking to do group trips and group travel, this is the time. I know my best friend comes in town tomorrow. We're already planning our trips, okay? This is the perfect opportunity to work with an agent to say, hey, I have this group of 10, 20 people, and we want to go to XYZ destination. Why worry about planning it yourself when you can make sure that you're getting the lowest rates? If you are interested in group travel, Adventure in Black does do group travel. Just go to our website, www.adventureinblack.com. Click on that group travel link, and we can definitely take care of you. So that's one of the main things. I feel like there are so many misconceptions when it comes to just group travel, when it comes to using a travel agent during this time. And I would say now is the best time to try it out. If you haven't done it before, this is the time to do it. So, okay, I'm looking at your question. Travel COVID testing requirements. I'm actually not sure the COVID testing requirements for Puerto Rico. My assumption would be, and again, this is an assumption, it's very similar to the United States. So Puerto Rico, you don't need a passport to go to because it's technically a part of the U.S. So with that being said, there might be a testing protocol. There was a website that I gave everyone earlier as far as checking out CNN and checking out that information. But that site will give you all of the information for any place that's open to U.S. visitors. I'm not going to lie to y'all right now. A lot of these countries don't mess with us because, we've had a rough couple of 4 years, if you know what I'm saying. But just make sure that we are able to go to some of those locations. But like I said, I think Puerto Rico, because it is a part of the United States, you might be able to get away without doing a COVID test. Again, don't quote me on that. But definitely do check out CNN, because if it's on one of those websites, they will be able to hook you up with that. What if you don't have a lot of money to travel? Do you have any advice on how to travel while managing day-to-day finances? Yes. Okay. So this is actually a really good question. I love this question. I am the type of person where I like to be bougie on a budget. Okay. Like, I'm 5-star hotels. I want to make sure my sheets is clean every day. I need a view of the beach. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to spend an arm and a leg to do so. Okay. So there are a lot of different websites and a lot of different kind of hacks that you can use to not even pay for travel at all. So I'll start with kind of the flight hacks. So Skyscanner, Google Flights, and then Airfordable are the 3 websites that I use the most often. Both Skyscanner and I'm probably gonna do a tutorial on this at some point. So definitely make sure you follow me so you can check that out. But both Skyscanner and Google Flights allow you to search destinations by the lowest month. And what that looks like is you can say, okay, I want to travel in August, right? Skyscanner and Google Flights will say, hey, well, these are all of the 20 destinations and how much they cost. So you can find round trip flights to South Africa for maybe $400. Or if you're traveling domestically, finding flights to Miami or Atlanta for $37. So this is one of the major ways that I have always traveled for the low, because like I said, I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, especially not on flights, and I don't think you all should do the same either. So definitely check out those 2 websites when it comes to booking low fares. And if you're like me and you're just like, oh, I just want to get up and go and I don't have a particular destination, that's your best friend. The third website that I mentioned is called Airfordable. I actually have a discount code on the Adventure in Black website. You can just search for Airfordable and it'll give you a $25 off code for that. But essentially allows you to put your flights on layaway. So let's say you find that, $400 flight to South Africa, but you don't want to spend $400 right then and there. With Airfordable, what you can actually do is just take a screenshot of that and they will allow you to pay for it in installments. They do have a fee for it. I don't remember the price of it off of my head, but it's nothing like super crazy. But this is also a great way where you can book multiple trips and then, pay $75 a month or pay, $80 a month and not feel like you're breaking the bank. I think one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to travel is that travel has to be expensive. That is not the case at all, especially with international travel. Like I said, I know people that spend $1,000, $1,500 in Miami, Atlanta. All these places are great, no shade. But you can do the same and go to Colombia. You can do the same and go to Canada. You can do the same and go to, an island, whether that's Jamaica, Puerto Rico, any place. Like all of these things are definitely doable if you have the right tools and know what you're looking for. Second part to that is credit cards. Man, I'm a credit card junkie. And I mean that in the best way possible. If you have a chance, if you don't have a credit card or never thought about traveling or using your credit card to travel, I would say there are two major credit cards to look into. The first one is going to be the Chase Sapphire card. That is my particular favorite card, and it definitely is great for beginners. So check that card out. And then the second one is going to be the American Express. I would say if your credit is like that, go ahead and get you an American Express card. Like skip the whole Chase Sapphire thing. This is especially great for business owners, so people who have a business. You can go ahead and put your business expenses on an American Express card. And then not only do you get like all these points, you get freebies at certain things. American Express is just like that. Love, love, love American Express. But one of the things that people fail to realize is when you have healthy spending habits, because credit cards are not for everyone. Like if you are struggling to like pay your, monthly bills, a credit card might not be the best option for you. However, if you have a budget and you're constantly spending money on things, you can definitely use that to your advantage. I haven't paid for a flight probably in the past year and a half. And that's because for the longest I lived in DC and my rent was $2,100 a month. So I would use my credit card to pay my rent. At the end of the year, I had over 100,000 points. So I'm going to use my points, but that's something that I was already paying for. You see what I'm saying? So when you use a card or decide to put your expenses on a card, make sure that you have a way to pay those things off and then reap the benefits from that. Jasmine said, how do you feel about traveling on cruises right now? That is a great question. My aunt actually reached out to me. And she's going on a cruise or wants to go on a cruise for my cousin's graduation. And personally, I'm a cruise fanatic. I love a good cruise most of the time. I would say for me personally right now, I don't feel comfortable on cruises only because cruises are very community-like. That is, your prerogative if you decide to do it. Now, I would say if depending on the cruise ship, I know a lot of, I can't remember the name off of my head. It might be Norwegian, where they have stricter COVID protocols like COVID testing, a place on the ship where they are quarantining people who might, be infected with COVID and all those good things. So I would say, again, like do your research. That's going to be my biggest kind of thing that I will continue to say during this conversation. Just do your research. Figure out what cruise line works for you. So, I love a good Carnival cruise. It's definitely, people say it's like the spirit of cruises, but like, I love Carnival. However, you might have to spend a little bit more money to feel comfortable on a cruise. And if that's the case, your health and safety should be your number one priority. For me, I personally just don't feel comfortable on cruises right now. I'm trying to wait until everybody else is like, yeah, let's get this vaccine and we find out it works. But if you are someone that's like, I want to do a cruise, I want to see multiple destinations, I want to visit multiple islands or whatever the case is, then a cruise might be your best option. Just make sure that you do your due diligence to figure out what the cruise has in place as far as their COVID-19 protocols. What happens if someone on the boat, does get COVID? What does that look like? So that way you can feel comfortable when it comes to, enjoying that experience wholeheartedly. So I'm pulling back up my notes because I know we had a couple of questions. Because I did have a couple of other things. Oh, we actually talked about flight hacking already. So I'm definitely happy to give more flight hacks. I'm a huge flight hack fan. Like, I'm one of those people where it's just like, I really just don't believe in paying for flights. Like, if I ain't gonna pay for a flight, I'm not gonna do it. So one of the other things that I do want to talk about when it comes to flights, particularly now, and again, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm definitely happy to answer all of your travel questions, no matter how big, small, in between it is. But one of the things that has happened to a lot of people that I know is flight cancellations, okay? Now, what most people don't know is an airline can actually say, we have this flight at this date and this time, and have absolutely no intention of flying that flight out, which is why people are seeing so many cancellations. So if you are wondering if your flight might be canceled or if you're uncertain about your flight being canceled, there's a website called FlightAware, so flightaware.com, and it basically shows you a map of all of the flights and their historical status, essentially. Now, when you log into this website, if you've never seen anything like this, it can definitely be a little intimidating, so I do want to throw that out there. But all you want to do is just search the flight number that you're thinking of booking. And if you've noticed that it's had more than 2 cancellations, honestly, within the past month, that is probably not a flight you want to fly on, because they're likely going to cancel your flight and then, give you raise hell about it and try to get you to, take a travel credit. With that being said, there is new regulation in place put across by the, I think it's FAA. I can't remember what it is right now. But basically the commission that looks at all of the flights and makes sure that nobody's doing anything illegal. If your flight is canceled by an airline agency, they have to give you a refund. So, and this is something you can quote me on. So if you're having issues and they're like, oh, we can't give you a refund, or we can't do this, we can't do that, that's absolutely false. There's new federal regulation that says if that flight is canceled, then you have to get your refund back. They are going to try to give you a travel credit. That's just what they do. They want to keep your money and they want to make sure that you spend it on a later flight. Completely your prerogative if you decide to take that travel credit or not. But just know that federal regulation states that if a flight is canceled, they have to refund you your money. Okay, we have one more question, and that is, what is your favorite destination you flew to on a flight hack? Oh, this is good. Okay, so in 2019, I actually did a trip with my best friend. Shout out to Leanne. She's amazing. She's visiting tomorrow. I keep talking about it, so now the world knows. But I ended up going to Ghana with her. And before Ghana, I knew I needed just a break kind of to myself. I decided that instead of flying directly to Ghana, I was going to go to Spain. So my flight at the time was DC, Spain. I spent a week in Spain. I did 4 days in Madrid, 4 days in Barcelona, completely fell in love with the city. Then came back to, then flew from Spain to Ghana, and then from Ghana back to DC on business class, by the way, which I did not pay a single penny for. I used all of my points. So that was definitely my favorite destination. Business class tickets can also be relatively cheap if you know what you're looking for and you know kind of where to go and where to hunt for some of these things. So like I mentioned, definitely use those 2 resources that I gave you as far as Skyscanner, Google Flights, and Airfordable. You can do business flights on Airfordable on layaway also. So if you've never done a first class or business class flight and you're like, you know what, it's my birthday, or oh, it's my anniversary, oh, I just want to enjoy my life and live my best life because I work hard and I deserve it, you could definitely look into all of those things and try that out. But that was one of the best flight hacks I think I've done in a very long time, because two very different destinations, and had a great just experience and time just enjoying all three of those destinations essentially. And I didn't spend any money on my flights. So, okay, I want to see if there is any more questions. I have all of my flight hacks right now, but I do want to see if there's any more questions for those that are just logged on. Again, Courtney Simone, CEO and founder of Adventure in Black. I'm definitely happy to answer more questions at some point. Like I said, you all can hop in my DMs. If you're thinking about traveling at some point and you're not sure where to go, you can definitely visit the Adventure in Black blog. We have a ton of resources and tips for travelers, just to make sure that your experience is as lit as it can be. Okay, we have one more question. Let me see. Hey, Jasmine. She said, what airline is the best one to fly on given our current state? So I would say that really depends. So, and I would say that's because of two major reasons. One, preference. Some people are just very loyal to their airline of choice. I know some people that are hard Southwest ride or die if they're doing domestic. I've never had issues on Southwest. Granted, you know, it can be a little, it has its moments, but like as long as you take off and land safely, that's really all that I care about. I would say domestically, for me, my personal airline of choice is Delta. I would say if you're thinking about internationally, any of like the World One Alliance flights have all done really good jobs. But in general, I do believe the airline industry has done its due diligence when it comes to making sure that people are safe on board. Y'all are all seeing, you know, the TikToks and the viral videos of people not trying to wear their masks. They're not playing that right now. Also, just to be aware, like the ventilation system in airlines is way cleaner than probably any air that you can breathe on this earth. Just gonna throw that out there. Our air is real dirty, y'all. So if you're concerned about being in close quarters with people, the airline system has done their due diligence to make sure that people are safe, making sure that people are wearing their mask, all that good stuff. So I would say if that is your biggest concern, I would say it should probably be lower on your list. The airline or the airport is actually probably less safe than the airline or airplane itself. Cool means. I don't keep clapping my hands like so spinal. I know. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. Like I said, I'm here for 2 more minutes. So if y'all want these travel questions or these travel hacks or anything in between, let me know. But if not, you can follow me in the pin below. You can see my Instagram. It's the Courtney Simone. And then make sure you follow the Adventure in Black page. And that's just at Adventure in Black. We have so many. Oh, thank you. Now said we can go to A10. Perfect. We have so many great trips. Yes, we can. We can definitely go to A10. We have so many great trips just lined up. Our 2022 itinerary actually loads in the next couple of weeks. So definitely get excited for that. I'm just going to give you all a couple of hints. So we got the Maldives, we have South Africa, we have Brazil. This year we'll actually be doing Bali, Brazil, Egypt, and Dubai, and then Thailand in November. If you have not done so already, Thailand is currently our only trip that is open for 2021 in November, like I said. So if you are interested in joining that trip, we do have payment plans available. So check it out. I still haven't been to Thailand. It's been on my list for like 5 years and haven't been able to go. So this is the year. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm so excited. Look, when I tell y'all I am vaccinated and ready to go. Like, y'all not gonna be able to see me. I won't be available. Okay, we have one more question. It says, do you think we will have to get a passport vaccine? I hope not. Yes. Yes, I strongly believe that. I mentioned part of this earlier, but when I went to Ghana, you have to have a yellow fever shot, and they give you a yellow fever card. A lot of different vaccines that are required for travel, you have some type of card. There has been talks of these virtual vaccine I guess like passports, essentially, where I guess they'll have a QR code and have a list of all the vaccines that you have. I highly believe that that is something that will be a thing and will be required of travelers. I'm not sure when that will happen, but just from the talks that I've seen, some of the islands are saying that if you're vaccinated, you're free to roam the island and all that good stuff. I have a very strong inclination that that will be the case moving forward. Another thing that you all just reminded me of, and particularly now, just for the process, is something that we encountered when we were going to Jamaica. I'm the type of person where, Obi said, I hope not, man. I'm the type of person where I like to risk it, okay? I will risk it. Like, I will wake up and be like, ooh, airport, gotta do that today. I've gotten better as I've gotten older, honestly, just because the time, headache, and stress. I don't know if it's like the adrenaline of running through an airport that just like gets me high. But I will say that if you are doing an international flight, don't be me. You actually need to arrive early. Like, you know how old people be like, you got to get to the airport 3 hours early. Like, you really have to do that now. And that's primarily because these countries are checking to make sure that you have all of the documentation that you need. And that process was hellish. Like, we were in line for legit maybe an hour and some change. So do keep that in mind. Like, if you're going on an international flight, don't be me. Don't get there late because you will probably miss your flight. And a lot of these places are only doing 2 to 3, if that, for some of their destations. I would also say this is a great and perfect time to look into global entry. Global entry is basically $100. I think it lasts 5 or 7 years. I think it's 5 years. But basically it allows you to get through the airport faster. So for instance, if you already have to spend an hour and a half to get your paperwork figured out and all the other stuff, you don't want to spend an extra hour waiting in line. So this allows you to basically fast track through the line. Everyone knows what TSA pre-check is. It's the same process, but also helps you through the passport process when you get your documentation and go through customs. Excuse me. So I would definitely say now is a great time to do it. If you're in the DC area, I believe you can just go to, actually I don't think you can go to the airport now. But if you're in the DC area, there's like a little center over by like the White House that you can check out. The process maybe takes like 30 minutes. You can do everything online and it's very straightforward. Yeah, Jazzy said 1 hour domestic, 2 hours international. Look, I'm going to say international. You might want to bump that to 3 hours because you're going to spend an hour and some change in that line. So yes. Can I still check in online and head through security? So if you are doing a domestic flight, for most places, like unless there's some weird error or issue, for most places you'll be able to just check in, use that little barcode, and go through your business. For international flights, they are doing a little bit more of an in-depth protocol to make sure that you have everything in order. And essentially what that means is they want to make sure you don't have COVID. They want to make sure that you are authorized to go to these destinations and these locations. So for that, you might not be able to even get an online boarding pass. They might have you go through the kiosk. They might have you see or require additional information for you at the desk. And that's why I really stress the importance of making sure that you are at the airport early. Under normal times and circumstances, I would not give that advice just because I am that person. Like, I am that person. Like, I'm just like, we'll get there when we get there. And just pray to God that the flight don't leave us. So don't do that to me. What's the next trip again? I want to go. Yay! So our next trip is actually going to be in September, and that will be to Brazil. We're doing Rio, we're doing Bahia, and essentially that is going to be all Black history. A lot of people don't know this, but Brazil, I forgot the stat she gave me. Brazil is over 50% Black. Let's just say that. I know that's a safe number. It's definitely more than that. So we really want to talk about the culture and the history and see a little bit of us kind of everywhere that we go. The next open trip that we have, registration actually closes on the 15th, is going to be a Thailand. And that we are going to Bangkok, Oh Lord Jesus, Fifi and Phuket. So 3 different locations, and we're gonna have a good time. You said my birthday. Oh man, Brazil, I might get in trouble. Look, I don't condone trouble, but like if you're on vacation, I feel like it doesn't count. Like when people be like, oh, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and I'm like, first off, people don't even know my real name when I travel. I'm just gonna throw that out there, okay? Like, who? Courtney who? Oh nah, that's my twin. Like I don't even know her. So definitely enjoy yourself for your birthday. Get in trouble. Have a good time. Life is to be lived. And I feel like one of the biggest lessons that I have learned during this pandemic is like it's not going to wait up on you. You know, I know so many people that lost loved ones, you know, lost jobs, just a whole bunch of different things happening. And one thing this pandemic taught me is that you have to live your life in the way that you want to live it. And for me, travel has been one of the best ways to do that. Being able to see different countries and see different places and just interact with so many dope and unique people has been amazing. Right, okay. Blaze Jean said, I have a travel name as well. No face, no case. Look, okay, look. Twin. I probably got like 5 twin sisters. Shoot, let me make them switch my wig, make it feel like I'm cheap. Look, y'all don't want this. We'll have to have another late night conversation, DC Now event, for all of my people who be having the aliases when they travel. We'll talk about that. We'll get the dark liquor out. And, you know, we'll have a whole conversation about that. One of the other things, someone said, when is Egypt? Egypt is actually in November, and that's going to be Egypt and Dubai split. So the first half, we're going to be seeing the Great Pyramids, all that good stuff. It's going to be beautiful. And then after, we're just going to get real bougie in Dubai. Like, be on somebody's rooftop pool, sipping, I don't know, mimosas maybe. Probably not mimosas, but I love mimosas. But definitely just enjoying our time. Neil said, what's your email? Can you type it in and your drop my phone? Let me do that for y'all now. So I'm going to send you all the info email for y'all. Oh, thank you. Look, okay, so my team is on. Y'all better shout out to the Adventure in Black team. I just want to say that right now. The reason why we are where we are is definitely because of my team. So the website is there. If you look at the editorial suite, that is adventureinblack.com. And then Lawrence, if you can type in the Adventure in Black info email so people can have that would be great. And I would definitely appreciate that for you. But yeah, like I was saying, shout out to my team. Shout out to Lene. Shout out to Lawrence. Make sure you check them out also. They are super dope people, wonderful creatives, amazing to work with. And one of the reasons where I feel like our business is where it is because of them, of the hard work and dedication and all the dope stuff that they do just behind the scenes. I tell people this all the time, like Lene literally keeps me sane, and Lawrence is the reason why we have all the dope content that we have on our website. So shout out to them. Definitely want to thank them right now on this call, and definitely thank the DC Now events team for letting me have the opportunity to chat with all of y'all. Like, this has been such a dope conversation, even though it's been like this. I've never done a live like this before, so I definitely want to appreciate all of you all for joining, for all the love and support and your questions. I do have 8 minutes, so whoever gets, 2 minutes, so whoever gets the next question in, it's y'all's. So get ready, get up in there. But if not, I'm just going to chill for a minute, see if we get one more question. But remember, all of my contact information is down there. So if you think of something later, you can definitely reach out to me, hop in my DMs, travel only. And then we can go from there. But I'm so excited to just be chatting with y'all. I'm excited. The world is opening back up. I'm just excited to live this life, and I'm excited to do it with all of you all also. So again, thank you. And I guess that's it. Do I just jump off and be like, okay, bye y'all, like, talk to y'all later, like, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. Like, thank you. And this is the info email down here, info@adventureinblack.com, if y'all need that. I'm excited too. We going outside. We going outside. Hey, we going outside. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. First off, I'm really bad at ending, so like, bye y'all. Peace. Okay. Email me, text me, DM me. Talk to y'all soon.